Yo. Just to switch gears for a second, like I told you, I was stalking your Twitter, and I seen you on Twitter. You said this is kind of interesting. You're very blunt. Those cops should be dead already. Even the score before the courts fail to deliver justice once again. Hashtag Alton Sterling. And then you say, if the new rule is shoot anything with a gun, I know where you can find a whole precinct of new targets.
I said that one?
You said that shit, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess my question to that would be, should we be shooting cops?
I don't give a fuck. To be honest with you, here's the thing. There's not all bad anything, right? So there are good cops, but fuck them. To be honest with you, as a unit, as a collective, they do not give a fuck about people's well-being. As a fucking collective, there's probably 3 or 4 amazing cops on every force that care about their community and they care about their fellow officers and they just care about their families and they want to go home to their families.
Yeah.
All the best to those guys, but you work in an industry that's full of pieces of shit. And if you don't get those people out of your precinct, it eventually is going to turn on you. And it's only a matter of time before people start saying, fuck these people. Because, man, I feel blessed that I don't have to deal with the fucking insane amount of stuff that people who are just a few shades darker in skin tone have to deal with, not just from society as a whole, but fucking people who are supposed to be there to protect them. That's ridiculous in 2017. Ridiculous. Like, that should be stories that people are telling from the 30s, 40s, and 50s at worst. That shouldn't even have happened then. The fact that it happens in 2017, I'm telling you now that if I knew someone personally that got killed by a cop, that cop's dead the next day. No problem. I have no concern.
I think the answer to this, based on what you said, I think the answer to this next question should be obvious. If you're a police, this is obviously hypothetical. Yeah. You're a police officer, you're married, 2 kids, you're a white guy, and all this shit's popping off right now. Are you vocal about this? Are you going to speak up as a white police officer?
Yeah, I mean, if you got into this business, I'm hoping that people have the best interest. And that's the reason they got into the business. I'm hoping that they got onto the force because they're like, yo, I want to make a difference in an area, in a community, in a city. I want to solve crimes because I don't want crimes to continue. I hope that's the reason they got on. I hope they weren't just idiots that got picked on in school and just said, I can't wait to have a gun because if anyone fucks with me, once I have a gun, I'm going to shoot them. So, like, those are the people I have a feeling are on the force. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you're on the force and you're trying to make a difference and you see some bullshit going on within your district, I know that they have a code of blue where you're just like, look, if you fuck
bleed blue.
Because you have to have that unified belief, because if you break that and you're both out on if me and you are just boys, not even cops, if me and you are boys and we have a mistrust between each other, if we go out into any sort of a war situation where somebody's going to come against us, I'm not going to trust you to have my back whatsoever, and I'll probably end up taking you out just because I don't trust you whatsoever. So that's why cops are so severely protective of each other, even when they're wrong. But
really
you have to recognize when the people in your circle are wrong. If the people I rolled with were doing things even close to as foul as people with badges are doing, I would have checked them already. They would have been out of my circle and they would have been out of my life. That needs to happen within the force. Get rid of every one of these guys. If you feel an instant that these guys are racist, get them off the force. If you feel that they're psychos, get them off the force. If they're abusive, get them off the force, because you're dealing with people's lives. You're going to hurt somebody, and so eventually what's going to happen, and not to get super preachy, is the good guy on the force is going to go out there, and he's going to get blasted in the head because of someone else's conduct. You know what I mean? And that's what the problem is now. These guys are all out there scared. They're working scared because now they know I have so many coworkers that have done this wrong that now I'm in trouble.
Right.
And I'm like, hey,
that's true. I actually never.
That's very true.
I never looked at it that way. I know. I was always thinking they're out there scared because of everything that's going on.
They're reaping the consequences of the actions
of the other officers. So why won't they just say anything? Like, okay, if you're a cop, would you just quit the force?
At some point I would have to, but at the same time is when mortgages due, who's to say, hey, just quit your job, man? That seems like a simple thing to say. So I can see someone who think about it, they went through the steps of going through training, going through the academy, getting on there. That's their dream job that they wanted to do. They're finally in. They're going to see some bad seeds and say, whoa, man, you guys are cold. I'm getting out of here. In a dream world, that's what they would do. But to be honest, that's the only way to really save your life, because what's happening is you're joining a force of people that the world does not like anymore.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's for your own safety. Don't be a part of it. Don't be a part of it. Say, I'm washing my hands of this. And hopefully there's one day where we can say that we actually have, an entire force that's just out there looking for the good of the people. But until that's the case, man, I'm always going to be pro-people, anti-blue.
With that, I want to get into another fan of. I know you're a fan of this guy. This guy right here. This little son of a bitch.
Who's that?
It's your favorite guy. I see everybody talk about him on Twitter all the time. He's on CNN. Listen to what he said. Listen to what he said about a dead guy.
I was at Mar-a-Lago, and we had this incredible ball, the Red Cross ball. You have all these really rich people. And a man, about 80 years old, very wealthy man, a lot of people didn't like him, he fell off the stage.
Wow.
This guy falls off right on his face, hits his head, and I thought he died. And you know what I did? I said, oh, my God, that's disgusting, and I turned away. I couldn't, he was right in front of me. I turned away. I didn't want to touch him. The Marines, this is a great thing.
Somebody clean that up.
No, the Marines, he's bleeding all over the place. I felt terribly. Beautiful marble floor, didn't look so good. It changed color. It became very red. And you have this poor guy, 80 years old, laying on the floor, unconscious. And all of the rich people are turning away. Oh, my God, this is terrible. This is disgusting. And, they're turning away. Nobody wants to help the guy. His wife is screaming. She's sitting right next to him. She's screaming. What happens is these 10 Marines from the back of the room, they were so far back. It's a huge ballroom, Mar-a-Lago. You've been there.
I've seen it.
So from the back of the room, they come running forward. They grab them. They put the blood all over the place. It's all over their uniforms. They're taking it. They swipe. They ran them out. I never saw it. They ran like...
You would never do that.
I was saying, get that blood cleaned up. It's disgusting.
Right, you wouldn't shake hands with him.
In fact, I forgot to call the next half. I forgot to call to say, is he okay? He was okay.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing. So, when
you're afraid of catching a disease through the phone.
It's not even a disease. I just don't like looking at blood.
Would you ever have sex with a woman when she's menstruating? Because there's blood involved.
Good question, yeah.
Well, I think we all have.
So basically, Donald Trump is saying he's not going to help someone who's fighting for their life because there's blood, but at the same time, he would have sex.
I'll stick my dick in blood.
Yeah. Listen, with Donald Trump, obviously we all have our own opinions, but what are your thoughts on Trump? Does he make white people look bad?
He makes humans look bad.
Yeah.
He's on, and I hate to, I could do a whole hour just on how much hatred I have for this guy. There's very few people I actually have hate for in the world, and he's somebody that every time he opens his mouth, it's the exact opposite of what should have been said or done. He's the worst person alive at the moment. The day he dies, the world gets a little bit better. The saddest part is, to be honest, and I know it's a fucking, it's a general thing to say, and I honestly wanted to tweet it a few times already because everything he says is absolutely moronic.
Yeah.
Whoever kills him, I'll tattoo your name on me. But watch this, though.
That's fantastic.
If you murder him, and then murder anyone who shows up to his funeral, and then murder anyone who shows up to their funeral, continue that process, the world will get amazing. You will have so much progress. We'll be checking out Mars in 10 years because we'll have abortion packed away. We'll have gay rights packed away. Everything will be correct with the world. We'll have everything the way it should be. We'll all be actually on a progressive state of mind the day you get rid of all of these backwards thinking people.
Yeah.
And someone like Trump is just the epitome of what is wrong with the world. He is just absolute shit.
With how he responds to the races clashing, black people, Hispanic people, brown people, whatever. Yeah. Remember when that issue happened and he was saying, "Oh, there was good on both sides, bad on both sides." Yeah. Do you feel? And me and Divine talked about this. Do you feel that white people have a responsibility to separate themselves from the racist white people? So let me just be more specific in my line of questioning. Divine answered the question. He says, "Oh, your boy's with Patrick. Patrick is not a racist person. Why do you feel Patrick needs to step up and say something? He doesn't believe in that shit." Okay. If I know you and I know you don't believe in that shit, do you still feel like white people, or even yourself, do you have a responsibility to speak up against ignorant white people who are racist?
I think white, black aside, stand up against bullshit. Call out bullshit for everybody. There should be nobody who gets a blind because they're your friend or because it's going to risk your employment or whatever it is. When there's garbage out there, you got to correct it because all it's going to do is leak into another generation. The faster we can cut this off so that kids can grow up in an actual society that we all wanted to grow up in, or at least the sane ones do. I don't understand what some of these other people thinking, the better off we're going to be. So if you see bullshit, if you see prejudice, call it out. And as much as I hate, and you've seen me rap about it, I hate things like ultra technology, like people who are on their phones all the time, and people who are obsessed with selfies and anything that's super superficial.
Blindfold.
As much as I hate that stuff, the one thing I do like that I love seeing happen, I love seeing these people lose their jobs because they're just pieces of shit and they're finally getting caught. Like the idiot woman that was demanding to see a white doctor. Film them. Get their
Do you
phone
remember
out,
that
film
shit?
them, get her out. Like this guy, I see guys all the time. Guys, there was a guy who was I talking to recently. Oh, I was talking at Union Station, and when he walked by, there was a guy with a turban on, and his girlfriend was holding him back from another guy, a white guy, and the white guy was like, "You can wear a shirt that says anything you want," and he kept saying the word shirt, so I decided to look over and look, because he's obviously referring to a shirt.
Yeah.
This guy just had a shirt that had a swastika hand-drawn on the sleeve, and then on the shirt it said something about like death to all Islam or something like that he wrote with marker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, bro, if you, for some stupid reason, believe that this is the right thing to believe in the world, I hope you don't have kids, but keep it in your own stupid head.
Yeah.
Don't go out there and put it on a shirt. What are you bringing to the world that day by saying, hey, I can do this, so I'm going to just wear this shirt?
Yeah.
Because obviously this guy snapped on him and whatever. That's what the incident was. I'm just saying, people like that should have been filmed right away, because I guarantee if that guy got fired the next day, he'd be like, oh, shit, so I can't just be a piece of shit to everybody in the world based on their belief system, based on their skin color, based on their wardrobe.
Yeah.
If this is what I don't even want to get preachy on your podcast.
Please do.
I get super cheesed about this. It's not a matter of opinion anymore. And this is what the United States has wrong.
Yeah.
They believe that we have different opinions and beliefs. We have to deal with facts. The fact is that if you think as a human being somebody else is not worth the same as you because their skin is different colors or their faith is different, you believe that they are lower than you, the fact is you're stupid. Your brain is not functioning on the same level as an intelligent person. You're a dumb person. You need to check your intelligence. People need to stop being say, oh, you know what, my aunt is a little bit racist, but she's just like that. That's how she is. No, your aunt is dumb. Your aunt's a stupid person. You just school your aunt. It's not about just letting things slide. Bro, you're stupid. It's an actual. It's a lack of intelligence. It's not an opinion anymore. It's not because we believe that Puerto Ricans aren't equal to us. That's what we just believe.
Yeah.
If you believe that, you're fucking wrong. You believe that water is dry. That's what the fuck you believe. You're a stupid person. Stop giving the fact that wrong, it has a value. There's no value in wrong.
There is no value
wrong.
in
You're not.
Sometimes it's right. Sometimes it's wrong. It's black and white, basically.
That's the thing. Is that, people try to think wrong means it's not nice. Okay, it is not nice, and that's cool. But it's actually incorrect, and you are incorrect. You believe that people are not worth the same incorrectly. You're fucking wrong. People need to get out, especially people that are in power. You are in power, and you believe these sort of things. Get rid of everyone that has that mentality. They will all die off slowly. Some of those people are family members. Some of those people are close people that I even know.
Yeah.
They're all going to die off eventually. All you can do is take care of the future generations and make sure that they grow up with the right
I just
mentality.
honestly don't, and sorry, Divine.
No, it's okay.
But I just honestly don't see that happening. We talked about this. The racist people dying off. It's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen because even with Trump, look like he has kids.
For sure.
So whatever he's doing right now, he's even if he's not teaching his kids his values, they're hearing it, seeing it, learning it, reading about it.
For sure.
So his legacy will live on even if somebody walks up to him and has a silencer.
But I'm not talking about my generation and then those kids and then my kids' kids. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about 200 generations. If you start talking about 300, 400 generations, there won't be white. It will just be probably a little beige. It'll just be a beige mix of
we'll all
everything.
be beige.
We'll all be beige.
You look like this nigga right here.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. We're all going to keep fucking, and that's it. And hopefully at that point, everyone's going to be like, I don't know what the problem was before, because they all had issues with each other. They're going to laugh at us. That's what the sad thing is. They're going to end up laughing at us. And
I agree.
Do you realize that they were laughing at people because their eyes looked a little bit longer than their eyes over here? And they'd be like, yeah, I can't believe our ancestors were absolute idiots.
Yeah. Can I I want to get off race, and we have to bring the show to a close because Boogie's probably.
I'll go on all day.
Boogie's like, yo, you know what? This is the last episode. I told you guys you can't go over an hour. We're an hour and 22 minutes.
We're gonna have to.
My bad.
We're gonna have to cut out some of this.
There's no way that I was gonna. Anyways, okay. Listen. With that, last race question. As far as racism, like acts of racism. This is a tough question. Maybe it's not. It might be easy for some people. Every race has a little bit of racism in them. right? You know
or
what
is
I mean?
it prejudice?
Whatever.
Because they're two different things.
Okay, fuck it.
Right?
Who did the worst? Who did the worst in your opinion?
Over the course of
Over
history?
the course of time, history, who did the worst shit?
It has to be the white race. As a race?
Yeah.
Yeah, white, for sure. Without a question. Every land we've ever been involved with was taken and from other people.
Okay, but can I, and sorry, now it's gonna, probably shouldn't have asked that question, right? Yeah. But I mean, but like, do you think it's intelligence? Because when you think about it, right? You guys, when you look at the world population, I mean, white people are kind of you guys are the minority.
Yeah,
right.
Out of all the
nations, do you think it's intelligence? Like, okay, we don't have enough people to take them by force, but we got to outsmart them. So do you think it's intelligence, or do you think it's just ingrained? I don't want to say it was taught, because I don't want to get too deep into it, but I mean, like,
of how they managed to do it,
to do this shit. So do you think it's just like ingrained, just evil, or like was it taught? Like, why did this happen?
It's a genetic thing. I think everyone, believe it or not, everyone sort of believes that because we all grew up on storybooks and we all grew up on movies, so we always have heroes and villains. So we believe that in history there are people who believe they're like, I'm the evil guy and I'm gonna fucking win. I'm gonna take over. People thought that they were always on the right side of history. So even the guys who did the worst shit over the course of history, that did the most atrocities, that killed the most people, they believed in their hearts, I am a beautiful person for doing what I'm doing right now. And not even justifying, like, I'm supposed to do this. I'm actually going to be praised for this. Everyone who's done some stupid things believe they actually were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And going, just back to races, a lot of guys who say racist stuff, they're not actually racist. They don't believe that somebody's not worth them. They don't believe that it's not an equal thing. They're saying something that's absolutely so stupid because they know that that's going to hurt that person's feelings. So they'll say something like a racial slur to someone, not because they think someone of that race is not worth them.
They just want to
because
dig
they're
deep.
like, they're so stupid that they can't think of something else to say to that person that hurts their feelings other than the lowest common denominator, which is a racial slur. And that's why people do stupid things all the time. That's why you'll probably see someone like Kramer yell the N-word on stage.
Yeah.
Not because he believes that this guy's actually not worth him, because he's an idiot and he's not smart enough to think of another thing that makes that guy look stupid other than just calling him that. That's what it is. Anyhow.
Facts.
That's true.
That's true.
People are
That's
stupid.
true.
People are more stupid than they are evil. I believe that.